Hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Yes, mate. How you doing? You good? We're back at it. Doom, doom, doom. How's everyone's week going? Here in Spain, it's Father's Day, so it's a holiday festive. Much deserved. Remember, guys, you guys can share any ideas for what we can script today. If anything pops into mind, just let me know and we can have a look. You can share the link in YouTube on the chat and then we can check it out. Either way, I'm going to look at some references before we jump into anything. So let me know. Let me quickly just open this up. Just making sure my stream is good and active. You guys can hear me perfectly, right? Sati. Alright, let's do this. So I have a few things in mind. I really like this reference. I think I've done something using this as a reference before. The other reference I had in mind was, where are you? To do this, but I want to do an attractor curve where, depending on a spiral curve that goes around it, these extrusions are going to go out more or less. So it's sort of the same logic with image sampling, but it's not using image sampling, it's calculating the distance from a curve. And in this case, the curve would be a spiral. So I think I could probably draw on this image. The idea is that I'm going to draw a spiral, and the closest you are to that spiral, the more this is going to protrude out. So this one may be like this one a little bit bigger, this one a little bit bigger. You know, it's getting bigger and then it comes back round, right? Try to do something where it's a spiral sort of idea. I really like this idea. If you guys hate it, we can try out something else. But I think it could be interesting, to be honest. Yeah, some sort of protrusion where it goes out according to a spiral. Reroute Pavilion. I don't know what project that is. Let me have a look. Do you have a link to a specific image? Let me see if I can quickly find the reference. One sec. Reroute Pavilion. So I have some images here. Which one is Reroute Pavilion? Is it this one? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Who's it by? I've done this project before. Is it this one? Let me see if I can grab the exact same reference. It's this one, right? I'll wait for you to send me a reference or the actual name of the project, and we can have a look. So that was sort of my idea for today's session. I don't want to get something like it's similar to this, the logic where you have a spiral going around the building, and then in this case, instead of extruding more or less, you would actually remove, or you would cull out some pixels from the building itself. And then this is sort of the same logic too, where you're essentially culling out a group of geometries according to something else, to an external reference geometry, which I've always been fascinated by this sort of voxel. And in fact, I haven't done a voxel like qubit one. I haven't done this. I have done where I've removed certain slabs, but not the actual 3D geometry, like the volume itself. This one is also very cool, but I'm not sure what the logic is, to be quite frank. We could probably come up with another logic where as it gets closer to the center, it kind of gets distorted rather. But I'm not 100% certain what the logic is there, to be quite frank. This is cool. This is a little bit more chaotic. I'm not sure what the rule is here. The issue with this sort of geometry is that it's not, you can't break it down into completely rational steps at first glance. At least you would have to understand what the actual logic is, and for me this is just a bit too chaotic for it to be have some sort of structure, whereas something like this is a lot more organized, and you can then cull out and make it, you know, even crazier. Let's see what else there is. This sort of thing is really interesting too. I don't know what the logic would be for this, for example. Let's see if we can work it out. So these are like ellipses, but then some of them are not ellipses. They kind of protrude out with like a point. Is that the logic? I feel like these ones are manually manipulated, which is really cool. But in Grasshopper, it doesn't make complete sense to go. It's on your school script. Oh shit! Sorry, I wasn't understanding. All right, let me pop it up. One sec. This is my school. Let me go to classroom. Reroute. Do 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 do. Ah, this one. And you're asking for urban design. But what do you mean by for urban design? I'm not sure what you mean by. Have you watched a tutorial on the Reroute Pavilion? Is that something you've been able to check out? Yeah, these designs are really cool, to be honest. It feels like it's chaotic, but it's, you know, that if you apply some certain logic to it, you might get some really interesting results. So it might be worth exploring, to be honest. So yeah, again, my idea for today was to do where are you? To do this sort of thing where you extrude out according to a curve. So you calculate the distance to a curve, and then according to that distance, you kind of remap it and then generate an alternative to this. That's sort of the idea I was thinking of. Yeah. So I'm gonna see. Sorry, one sec. I'm trying to open my chat here on my phone, which is a little bit easier to read. Give me a sec. Let me close this. Open this up here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Loading. Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking of doing. Should we? Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go for this one. How do we generate these volumes? So I'm guessing you just generate squares that go around, and you're extruding in the same direction, all of them. Is that how that works? I am not sure. All right, let's see. I don't know whether we should start off with a polygon. I mean, there's probably multiple ways we can do this. I'm going to work on an aerial view because I think it might be a little bit easier to visualize. I'm going to use an XY plane. This is the default plane, but I don't like to see it, so I'm just going to turn it off. The radius is going to be whatever. I'm going to say 15 for now. The amount of sides, I am going to leave it on 6 for now. Let me change this to 6. There we go. And I think the idea is going to be to offset by a certain distance, whatever distance we deem correct. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and then I think the idea is going to be to rotate. We're going to work in degrees between 0 and 180, more or less. We'd actually know we shouldn't rotate too much because it can produce some errors. I'm going to turn this off. And the idea is to extrude in this direction. Does that make sense? Now that's a good question. We can control the angle like this. I mean, that could be the direction we extrude in. I don't know. See, first part already, we're breaking down the logic. Perhaps we can extract the edges. We can use the center, the middle, edges, middle. We need to create a line, right, which is going to be a vector, and then we can just rotate that line to define what direction we want to extrude in. Is that a clever way to do it? Or if we create a square and then we rotate that many times, how would that work? I don't know. That's a good question. Like, what would the floor plan of this look like? I guess that would be the question, right? What does the floor plan of this actually look like? Is there a view? What do you guys think? What does it look like, the floor plan? Is it sort of this logic where you extrude in a direction and you just rotate? You would have the space in between in the middle though, which is fine because we can use that as a terrace, and I think that could look really cool. I think that may be a cool idea. Yeah, that could be interesting. So the thing is, I don't want those terraces to extrude outwards also. So I would have to do two independent ideas. Oh, okay. Now this is where it gets tricky. Okay, let's work this out first. I'm going to extrude in the perpendicular in the perpendicular direction to the edges, meaning that I'm going to create a vector 2D, 2 points rather. On 2, am I going to unitize? Yes, because I want to be able to multiply it by a value I give it. So this is going to be between 0 and 10 for now, because this is going to change afterwards. Well, that's going to be too high, isn't it? 3, extrude, extrude direction. We're extruding the edges like so, and this is going to control how much we're extruding outwards. There we go. Okay, we're going to have to substitute this later for the whole voxel idea. But for now, it's going to help us understand a little bit what the logic is going to be. Okay, so here what I'm thinking is... Okay, let me quickly fix this. I'm going to use a construct point here, and then I'm going to indicate a series. The series is going to control how many Zs I have. I'm going to say the distance between slabs is going to be 3.3, and the number of slabs is going to be between 0 and 100, and I'm going to say 20 slabs for now, like this. The first one is starting on 0, and I'm just going to align this like so. So we're going to have this. Now this is going to give me an error because it's not matching up yet. This is not grafted. There we go. But this is something irrelevant for now. This is what's going to change. This value here. I'm going to mark it in red so we know that this is the item we have to change later. Okay. Okay, so we have all these slabs. I'm going to turn this off. I don't want to see that. We have the edges, we have the vector direction, and we just need to calculate the distance. So the idea is that I'm going to create a spiral. That starts on construct point 0, 0, 0. So by default, it will probably be this value. Axis direction is going to be Z. The radius should be the same radius as the polygon. And that's going to be both radiuses, because it's going to be like a cylindrical... I've connected it to the wrong one. There we go. Cylindrical geometry. Turn count, that's going to be something we can define. For now, I'm just going to use like something close to 1 or 2. The pitch is basically how quick it grows, right? So, pitch. I don't know if it goes in relation to the units. I'm not sure. We can check that out later on. So you can see the spiral. If I turn everything else off, you're going to see the spiral is there. So, what am I trying to do? I'm going to match the two heights. So it's more or less 70. So it's 3.3 times 20. Okay, so it isn't related. I think it is related. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply these two to calculate the height. Think about it this way. If I have 20 stories and each story is 3.3 meters, how tall is our building? Well, multiplication between these two numbers, right? So we're going to multiply these two values, and this is going to be the pitch. And that way we can, you know, it's matched up automatically. We don't have to intervene manually. We can change the turn count. Oh, but that's going to control, that's not in relation to the pitch. Okay, that's a very silly thing to do, isn't it? I might have to add another expression because I feel like it might be related to this. Bing, bing, bing. Yeah, I thought as much. That's annoying. That's really annoying. Okay, fair enough. It's fine. Okay. Let's put this down. I want to align this a little bit more. I'm going to relay because I hate seeing this cables like this. Let me quickly just do this. Okay. Okay, so we have the spiral. We have the middle points. That's going to be my reference. We're going to use curve closest points. This is my curve. These are my points. We have a distance, and we're going to use remap. I'm going to use bounds. Distance. Source type. I need to flatten this. Target. Construct domain. Blah, blah, blah. Where are you? Construct. English. Construct. Nope. Construct the domain. This is the one we're looking for. These are my values I need to remap. What do I want to remap them to? Well, that's going to be whatever we want. The first one is going to be by whatever. The next one by slightly bigger value. And this value, if I put a panel, should be between 1 and 9, more or less. More or less, okay. I'm going to save my file. Save, okay, cool. I can delete this. There we go. So the closer you are to the spiral, the smaller it is. I can invert it if I want. I can just change the domain. So whatever is closest to the point, to the curve, is going to be bigger. Nah, I think I prefer it the other way around. Let me actually change the number of sides. And it should be bigger. The extrude value. And I think my initial radius should actually be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to say 10. Okay, cool. And I want to keep my original surfaces too. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to offset inwards. Offset curve. No, I should offset outwards. Does that make sense? No, I'm going to offset inwards. Negative. The distance is going to be, oh crap, whatever. Like so. Inwards. Should probably do a solid difference or something, alright? Okie dokie, do this. Solid difference between the big one and the small one. Like so. I need to graph this. And we have those inner geometries. Okay, cool. And you can see I can make it smaller or bigger. These holes in the middle. Aerial view. You can see that I can make it smaller, bigger. Okay. Okay, that's really interesting. Now, I guess the other thing we could do is round the edges. So what I'm thinking is we can merge the faces. Maybe? I don't know. This is the experimental part, which I never know how it's going to turn out. Okay, let's merge. I need to flatten everything and then merge. I think that's going to be the easiest way. Flatten. Brep join. We're going to join these surfaces together. We're going to merge faces. Brep, so I'm going to flatten just in case. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract the curve. No. Oh, okay. Por qué? Let me turn everything off. Let me save. Let me save. I can't extract the curves, really? Okay. Can I use a Brep wireframe? Maybe. Yes, I can. We have the contours and we can fillet. Normal fillet. I'm going to say 1, which might be too much, but it's going to do as much as it can. No? Okay. That's excessive. There's a limit. Well, we tried. Is it because the Brep wireframe doesn't join them curves? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we need to join curves. That's a pain in the ass. Join curves. Actually, could we use a region union to get the curves directly? No, we can't. Okay, that's interesting. Well, doesn't matter, does it? Flatten. Let's put that there. And in theory, we should get those curved edges. Yes. It's funny because when I say theory, my iPhone pops up Siri. It's really nice. It does this a lot lately. Okay, so we have this. Okay, we can now generate the surface. Actually, I'm not sure if it will. It does both of them. Oh, that's bloody annoying. Okay, how can we solve this? We got the contour, the outer contour. We can sort by area. Join curves. Or we could do the solid difference later. I think that could work. Where we have the extrusions, we have all of this. Okay, let me do this. Bang. And then maybe I can do the curve here. Oh no, I can't. I don't think that makes sense. Okay, so what's happening here? We have the join curves, join curves, blah blah blah, fillet. And it can't do the surface for some reason. Why? It should be able to do it. Because I have some things happening over here. Amigo. I think I know what the issue is. Okay, region union. And turn this off. No? Is that not how it works? Ooh, that's kind of more interesting. Ooh. Happy accident? Is that a happy accident? I don't know. One sec. Oh, we need the exterior one. There. Ooh, that's interesting. Do we want it to be curved? I don't know if you guys can see it properly. Maybe you can't. Let me see if I can turn this into a surface. Bang. I like this rounded square format. It's cool. That's interesting. Oh, that's so interesting. Do I want that? I don't know. Let me just do a quick test to compare. Copy paste. Turn this back on. So this is my... I'm going to turn this off. The region unit works. Okay, so this is my surface. Okay, I guess the issue is that I need my base curve geometry. So surface. I need to Brep join these two. Like so. Turn this off. Flatten this. But right, can I extract the curves here? Is that a thing? Oh, I can. Brilliant. Okay. Turn this off. Turn everything else off. Yeah, it works. Okay, cool. Alright, so we can kind of go back a little bit. Backtrack. Turn this into a surface. There we go. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay, and then here, this one over here, turn this on. I'm going to relay it with a curve itself. Drag this to the end. Solid difference. I need to graft. And I'm also going to simplify. Let's try that again. Simplify here. Bang. And in theory, it should match up. Yes. Perfecto. Okay. So we have our geometry doing its thing. Okay. Segments. Let's make this bigger. Let's make it 20. Do it. There we go. 20. Okay. Huh. What can we do to make this interesting? Ha 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 ha. Alvilda. How can we make this evolve this? I want to see if we can do. Yeah, let me try something out. Loft. We have the fillet. I can loft it here. Oh, that's crazy. Let me try this out. Loft options. Let's try this out. Toggle. Rebuild. No. Adjust. It's not really adjusting, is it? Yeah, I think it's not. I don't think it's going to work. No, I don't like it. I'm going to scrap this idea. The fillet's huge. No, okay. What if I leave it just on 0 for now? What I want to do is make the extrusion thing pop out a little bit more. So 15. And it follows the spiral. And then if the spiral count is changed to like 2. Actually, no, 3. There we go. Okay. I'm just thinking. Yeah. Okay, let me see if we can pop the reference up. Has these sort of windows, but I don't think I like that too much. I want to try something else, but I'm not sure what. Let me see if I can select individually the extrusions. Let me turn this off. No, that doesn't work. Okay, let me try and work this out. Turn this off. I have these curves. I'm going to reduce the numbers, it's just too many. Let's change it to 5. Let's work. The fewer you work with, the better for now. So this is one floor plan, right? Something like this. One thinking of is, what if the graphing is the issue, right? That's the thing I'm struggling with the most. Okay, I have an idea. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select what I can do is, how do I select the exterior if I filleted? That's the issue. If I fillet, it's going to be a little bit trickier. Okay, let me try and see if... Okay, what happens if I explode the curve? Well, I have multiple parts. That's good. That's good. This works. What I can do is I can extrude in Z according to the distance of the middle of these segments to what? To the spiral itself. So essentially what I need to do is generate another one of these ones. Like so. This is my curve. I'm going to disconnect the points. And this is going to be over here. The points are going to be here. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Oh, dubstep. The extrude value is this thing over here. I need space. Drag this all the way down here. The segments are these, and I should probably save before I do anything, to be honest. The extrusion value should be minimum 1.1 and then maximum, I don't know, 3. Because that's going to define whether it's closed or open. That way, if I change the value back to 20, we're also going to have the effect on that. Okay, that's cool. Let's make it lower. Yeah, the fillet angle is something I'm not a huge fan of for right now. Let's say 0.1 for now. I mean, I could convert it into glass planes. I think I'm going to do that actually. It might be a little bit heavier on my calculation, but I think it should be contemplated. Okay, so here I'm going to disconnect this for now. We need an intermediate space. Turn this off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide. I'm going to measure the length of the curve, right? I'm going to measure the length. I'm going to do division. Oh, division. What do I do? There we go. I want the planes to be every meter. I think meter might be too much, to be honest, but we can see what it looks like. Divide curve, and we're going to do. This is going to be the amount. Curve. I'm just going to relay. Curve. Okay, there we go. It's a lot of curves. Damn. Okay. Polyline. I'm going to close. You might not be able to see it, but these are actual divisions. And then if I do this, it should take a moment to load. There we go. Oh no, I'm missing a step. I need to create the separation in between the lines. Okay, so here there is another step I need to add. Let's bring this over here. There, I'm going to disconnect this for now. This is my these are my curves. Extend. Where are you? Extend curve. I want it to be negative. I'm going to say 0.02. Both directions. Curve. And then here you should be able to see a little gap in between curves. Oh, no, I can't. Segments, curve, type. Yeah, it should be working. I'm not sure why it's not working. These are my segments. Ah, there we go. There was too much turn off. 0.05 maybe. There we go. Those gaps there. And then if I bring this here, turn this on. you should be able to see those gaps in between planes. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. 0.03. Something along these lines. And then we can bring back the slabs. Huh. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. What I do want to do is... Okay, so I have the radius of this, right? Is that right? Je ne sais pas. Okay, turn this on. What the fudge? Yeah, this is correct. This is my original one. Yeah, I guess this is right. Okay, let me go step by step. This is my slab, right? So I'm going to extrude this Z downwards by 0.3 more or less. Let's bring this one over here. This is my sleeve. My sleeve. How are you guys doing? You guys alright? Let me see if I can. Let me just check. Thing is, I can't see who is online and who isn't. So bear with me a second. Okay, we've got quite a party here. Okay, cool. Okay, so we've extruded the slab, which is 0.3. So what I'm thinking is doing... What am I doing? What am I doing in life? What is my life, man? Also, is this hole in the middle necessary? I'm starting to question it, to be honest. We don't really actually need it. We can work with the slab. Let me just get rid of it. Bang. Okay, so we have the slab. The offset is going to be the interior. Okay, this makes a little bit more sense. Which shouldn't be as small. I'm going to leave it on 3. This is going to be that. And I'm going to extrude in the Z direction. And the distance is going to be the height difference between slabs minus the slab thickness. So that's an expression. That's x minus y. I could have just used a subtraction, but hey. 3.3 minus the slab thickness, which is going to be towards the end. Where are you? Here. Minus this bad boy here. This is my factor. There we go. We have those panes, window panes, and what I'm thinking is we can do... Oh, there's something missing there. Why? Because I'm extruding upwards. Negative. There we go. Cool. Alright, so we have that going on, right? And then we can... What can we do now? We can give these panes... We can do a frame thing. Actually, I'm going to do it offset. I think it's a little bit more precise. Offset curve. I can use an MD slider. I can use an evaluate surface. This is going to be my point. This is going to be my surface. No, it's not working. Because I need to explode the curves before I extrude. Explode. Okay, now I can do it. Good. This is going to be my plane. The distance is going to be negative. And the frame thickness is going to be whatever. More or less. The curve, I can just connect it there, can't I? No? Okay, I think I have to extract the curve contour. No, I can't. Why is that then? Flatten. What the hell? Let me make sure it's just grafting properly. No. Okay, that's weird. What if I deconstruct prep? What if I deconstruct prep and then I turn the faces into a curve? Well, that works. Okay. And then here would have to be here, faces. Okay, so we have the frames. Turn this off. I have the frame. Okay, so that's the offset. This is my original curve. And what I can do is a solid difference between this, and I'm going to have to graft. I'm also going to simplify just in case. Simplify. That's going here. Ooh, wrong one. Bam. There we go. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. 0.1. So this is the frame. This is the window. Let me just change the color. Custom preview. Blah, blah, blah. Swatch. Change this to whatever color I need. I'm going to change it to blue. I don't know. Where's my blue? More or less. I'm going to change the frame to black. Okie dokie. Alright, we have that going on. And I also want to define the... No, we're going to leave that as that is. This is the frame thing. Oh, this is a slab. Oh my god. Right, this is the window frame thing. Okay. The only issue is that the glass, you know, you can't really use that as railing. You'll just fall off in it. So I need to ensure there's a minimum. What we can do is increase the height difference between slabs. And then you have a little bit more leeway there. And we get this sort of funky little thing. These walls are I don't know, that doesn't really make sense. I don't know, it just feels off. Avid 1.1. You just need something, another geometry. How can we resolve this? Okay, I have an idea. What we can do is we can extrude. Base. Okay, I think I have an idea. Okay, I'm going to make sure that it's always going to be 1.1. No, let's make it 1. I'm going to make it 1. And then here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another extrusion. Same geometry, same thing. But this one's going to be 1.1. And then this is going to, this one's bigger. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do solid difference. I'm going to save between this and this. Shit, I didn't graft. This could be an issue. Always make sure your graphs are working. Come on, my G. Yeah, I think I should not have done that. God damn it. In the meantime, I could probably show you guys some stuff I'm working on. One of my next scripts. I don't know what else I have. This is still a work in progress. But bubbles. It's one of those weird ones, isn't it? Don't know if I have any more. I mean, they're still without post-production. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just gonna reload this because this is gonna crash, isn't it? Bloody hell. What a pain in the ass. Okay, so I need to not show my documents. One sec. Script audio. Where are you, man? Let's see. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, is it loading? No. Oh, that was for nothing. There you go. I have so many errors. It's because I have a lot of plugins that I've installed badly. Not bueno. Ignore recovery. Yes, of course, because we don't want it to crash, do we? Okay, so we have this. Lucky thing I saved before we did that. Okay, graft, simplify. We're taking from the big one the small one. Okay. Oh, don't tell me it's going to crash again. You've got to be joking. There we go. That way we have two colors. I'm going to have to relay. That way the glass is always going to be 1 meter 10. It's just going to be two different colors. And we have the issue resolved. Creative solutions, I guess. Copy paste. This one's going to go here. And we want it to be a contrasting color, so I'm just going to go black. And it's probably the other way around. Darker colors have more weight at the bottom. So, something like this. That makes a little bit more sense. And then now I can reduce the height. 4 was too excessive. 3,3. There we go. And the other thing I'm thinking of is I have an idea. Will it be good or bad? I'm not sure, but we can work it out. Right, let me see if I can clutch. Extrusion is this. Yeah, I think I might be able to. Extrude, I have, where are you? This one's the offset inwards. I don't need this right now. I need this one, okay. This is the extrusion. What if instead of extrusion I use move? If I use move, relay that, it might take a second to load. Can you hear the music? Okay, geometry move. Okay, so I've moved this geometry. This is might work. This might work indeed. Oh, wrong one. If I extract the middle, I can I do a flip matrix? Flip matrix, and then polyline. Yeah. Yes, I thought as much. Now, a ver. Let's do that there. Do I want that? I don't know. What if I just do it for all vertices? Would that work? On all edges? I mean, I could. I have these curves. If I do it for all, so the idea is if I explode, I should just leave it there. If I explode, I can do the vertices. That might work. Disconnect all. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then what I can do here is I can loft straight. Loft, let's do the options. Loft options. 3 for straight. Do I want it closed? Yes, I think. Je ne sais pas. Right, I want to save. We've learned our lesson, haven't we, guys? Ah, you bastard. Ah. Actually, no, we don't want it closed. Or do we? I don't know. Do we want it closed? Does it close at the top? Yeah, it does. So we want it open. See, do we want this? This is the vital question. Like, why? What function does this have? Nah, it doesn't make sense, does it? Like, why why do this? If I dispatch, what happens if I dispatch? If I dispatch, no. Diablos. A ver. If I flatten. No, that's not what I was looking for. There's an issue somewhere. Loft. Doing the vertices. Nah, I don't know. I don't think it works out as a loft. As a sort of pillars thing, yeah, sure, that could work, but otherwise, doesn't really make much sense to do it. Okay, so we have that going on. I don't want to dispatch. I want this. Could do the edges. I don't know. We didn't do any fillet here in this option, did we? Where's my fillet? Where is my fillet? Ah, let me turn this on. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that, to be honest. I don't know. And if I do it, I would do it with the middle. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this makes more sense. We can try this though. Please mind the gap. This train terminates at Morden via Bank. Is it loading? Yeah, no, I don't think this makes this. Nah. Yeah, no way. This is horrible. Abort mission. Absolute abort mission. Okay, that was all for nothing, eh? But hey. Okay, so what I am going to do, try more segments. Less is more, unless more is more. So give me more. What do you guys think so far? Is it worth it? Do you like the result? What do you guys think? Finishing soon. Alright. Ooh, loading. Loading times are quite a thing, eh? Okay. I'm going to make it a little bit taller. I'm seeing like duplicate something and I don't know what it is. There we go. What we can do here is, what can we do? I had a vision. No, I'm joking. We can give it like a false ceiling or something. Maybe that could be interesting. Even if it is tiny. Could be interesting. Where we do this offset curve. I'm going to offset a little bit. Like so. Yeah. And then I'm going to do a solid difference. It's becoming a heavy script. Big, small. This is a big one. So big one minus the small one. I'm going to graft. Simplify, simplify. I'm going to save. Because we have not done so. Pray it doesn't explode. Okay. Does it do it? Yes, it does. And then lastly, extrude downwards like we did for the slab. So extrude, Z, negative, negativo, a little bit less than the slab. So I'm going to go for 0.15, approximately half the size. And that's going to be like a little something there. I mean, we can make it a little bit bigger, 0.2. And then we're going to give this a color. I'm going to drag this towards the end. There we go. I'm going to change the color in a sec. Let's align this. Let's align that. This one's going to be a different color. Make it a little bit darker. There you go. Cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bake this into Rhino. I'm going to create multiple layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Should probably give this colors, and also I'm gonna give these names. This is what? Top glass. This is slab. I think. Yep. This is slab decor, let's call it. 4 is interior frame. This is interior glass. I should give it a thickness, but that's going to be heavy on the computer, so I'm going to try and avoid that for now. And what's happened here then? Oh, I'm missing something. What am I missing? I'm missing the... What am I missing? What the hell am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing. Missing. English. Ah, okay. This one. Let's bring this over here. Okay, so I'm just going to call this 6. Second glass. So let me give this some colors just to visualize this a little bit better. Oh, this is black or grey. Let's call it grey. This is top glass. We're just going to call this and make this blue. Slab is going to remain white. Slab decor, I'm going to make this black. Frame is going to be black. Interior glass is going to be, I like the yellow. Yeah, it's interesting. The overhangs are excessive as crap, but we can imagine. Let's just imagine. And I like this. You have the two glasses. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm curious to see what the render will look like. Oh man. Try this again. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to play around with this a little bit. I like the floor plan. That's cool. I like how the floor plan is this. It's weird. I like it. What can, actually, wait. Let me see something. Where's my spiral? Can I use the spiral for something? Nah, not really. Cool, guys. Anyway, I don't want to take more of your evening, so I'm going to end it here. Hopefully this is somewhat interesting. Mate, I'm going to send you the script privately for you to play around with, if you want, of course. And if you want it, I'll give it to you. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining the stream. I'll see you all on the, hopefully on the next one. Are there any questions before we go, or anything you guys want to talk about briefly as a little bye-bye? You really like a greenery, don't you? Anyway. Alright guys, I think I might end it here. I've got an error somewhere. Oh no, I just turned it off. There you go. What if I do lots of spirals? I'll send it to you privately, mate. For you who don't know this legend, if you check out our last post, the incredible AI work this guy does is insane. We're going to be posting another one tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. It's really going to be. It's going to be. I'm excited. I'm really excited. This guy's insane. All right, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you on the next one. Corazones para todos. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I've got to pop out. All right, guys. Love yous. Love you guys. Bye, bye.